Hello friends, today we are going to talk about the topic under heat transfer mechanism. The topic is air conditioning. So its principle and application we are going to discuss today. So friends, in last lecture we saw a refrigerator, its principle and working. Now today we are going to consider the air conditioning. See, what is air conditioning? Basically it is creation of artificial climate with pleasant conditions of temperature, then moisture, cleanliness and steady flow of purified air. So these are the requirement for pleasant condition. So a particular temperature required for the comfort. Similarly, moisture, that is humidity inside the air, which is satisfying the pleasant condition. Similarly, the air which we inhale must be clean and there should be a steady flow of purified air. This is basically a air conditioning. So here it is pleasant and required conditions for, first is either for human beings or the required conditions for increasing efficiency of life of certain equipments. So in industries, laboratories, everywhere it is required, and to remove heat produced during the process. So there may be in an industry the heat is produced in a process, and in order to keep the temperature, required temperature in the room, air conditioning is used. So what is air conditioning? See, air conditioning produce steady flow of purified cool air when atmosphere is hot and warm air flow when atmosphere is cool. That means when atmosphere is hot, it gives a cool air, and if atmosphere is warm, cool, then it gives warm air. So it is basically conditioning the air as per the requirement. So if we need a cool temperature, low temperature, it creates that low temperature air, and if we need to increase the temperature, the warm airflow can be achieved by air conditioning. So here principle of air conditioning is to blow or circulate steady flow of conditioned air. So this is important thing, the air is conditioned and through the desired space. So here we are actually controlling the conditions of the air in a closed space, and in that space a steady flow of conditioned air is maintained with the help of air conditioning. This is a principle of air conditioning. So for this sake, the steps performed by the system are, that is, it collects hot air from the given space. Suppose this is the room, and in which, let us consider, as per surrounding temperature, let us consider temperature is 30 degrees Celsius, and suppose we want to maintain it to say 20 degrees Celsius, then here the temperature inside the space is 30 degrees, that means it is higher than the desired. So when air conditioner is placed in the room, it collects hot air from given space, then processes it with itself with the help of refrigerant and cooling coils. Now hot air is turned into cool air. So for that, the most important thing is refrigerant and cooling coils are used, and with the help of that the temperature can be reduced. And finally, once the temperature is maintained or achieved, it releases cool air in the same space. So here important thing is that the hot air which is inside the space, it is taken by the air conditioning system. Then after processing, the same air is cooled and same air is again sent inside the space. So during this, the following operations are performed by air conditioning system. First important thing is that it cleans air. That is, a cleaning air is an operation performed by air conditioning. Thereafter, controlling the desired temperature. So if you want temperature cooler than the existing, then through cooling coils it can be maintained, or even if you want a warm temperature, that can be done. That is, temperature can be controlled. The next one is controlling the moisture. So let us consider, for pleasant condition, let us consider temperature required for human being is suppose 20 degrees Celsius. Then the temperature of the air will be maintained to 20 degrees Celsius, or as per our setting. And controlling the moisture, that means if let us consider 60% humidity is the pleasant condition for the human being, then moisture inside the air is maintained to that percentage. And thereafter, once the temperature is maintained, air is cleaned, temperature is maintained, and moisture is controlled, then circulating the steady flow of conditioned air. So that air is forced inside the space, but after utilization of that space, again its condition, the air conditions change, and again it is circulated in air conditioning, and this way the steady flow is maintained by air conditioning. So these operations are performed during air conditioning. So for cleaning air in AC machines, the cleaning of the air can be done by forcing the air to pass through the filters. That means for this, the filters are used, which are fitted inside the AC, are made of packed fiberglass wool or metal fibers coated with sticky oil, so that the air will get filtered as well as unwanted components will get stick to the oil and air will be cleaned. So due to these filters, air is made dust free, dirt free or soot free, and using water spray also the air is made clean. So that process is done in this operation. Second is controlling the temperature. So now for controlling temperature, inside the conditioner, the air is blowed, that is, this clean air is blowed on the coils, and inside that coil, remember that, so use of refrigerant is there, a refrigerant inside the coil, and coils are there. So refrigerant is circulating inside the coil, and refrigerant is maintained at very lower temperature, and when the air is blowed on this coil, the temperature can be reduced. So that is what way the temperature can be controlled. Then second important thing is that controlling the moisture, that is a humidity. So remember that the relative humidity, that is basically amount of water present in the air to maximum amount it can hold, is relative humidity, and is mainly responsible for the comfort of human being. So here controlling moisture is controlling humidity. So it is responsible for comfort of human being, and this can be achieved by passing the humid air over the cooling coils. So if the air is passed over the cooling coil and percentage of water vapor or water level is large as per than the desired level, then after passing over cooling coils, there is a condensation of excess water, and then that water is then taken outside from the system as well as air, and this way the moisture can be controlled. and finally the circulating the steady flow of conditioned air. So let us consider components of the process of air conditioning. So here the diagram shows the components. So see, first one is evaporator. So this is, here you see the evaporator, and when we look at evaporator, you will see that evaporator is basically fitted inside the space where the air is to be conditioned. So that means in the room. Now function of evaporator is that, here it is, see, evaporator, it is heat exchanger coil that collects heat from air inside the room through refrigerant. So here it is a coil, and refrigerant which is inside the coil is very cold, and that is why whenever the air which is present in the room having higher temperature comes in contact with this coil, the heat is being absorbed. So that means, remember that in evaporator the heat is absorbed from the room, okay, and then the temperature of refrigerant changes and it circulates and goes to the compressor, and whenever air is blown on this coil, the temperature of the air inside the room decreases and we get a cooling effect. So that is what evaporator, which is inside the room. So second one is compressor. So see, here it is a compressor. So does the compression of refrigerants, and it is located in outside unit. So once the refrigerant passes through this coil and it goes inside the compressor, it is being compressed. So due to compression, remember that the pressure increases and obviously its temperature also increases, and so that is why this cool refrigerant becomes a hot refrigerant, and then it is transferred to the next block, that is a condenser. Now here the refrigerant entering is hot refrigerant. So the next block is condenser. So see, condenser receives vaporized refrigerant flow from compressor and convert it back to the liquid to expel the heat outside. So whenever, due to high temperature, refrigerant enters, so here along with fan the air is blown on it, and when air is blown on that coil, it absorbs heat, and so the warm air goes outside. So that means heat is given to the surrounding, and this way, and as the temperature decreases, it turns in the form of liquid to expel the heat outside. Next component is expansion valve. See, expansion valve is located between this condenser and evaporator. Okay, so here chilled coil of evaporator and hot coil of condenser. So the hot air enters the expansion valve, and due to expansion of the gas goes from higher pressure to lower pressure, and its temperature decreases, and here we get the cold refrigerant. And then again that cold refrigerant enters this coil, where inside air comes in contact with coil, and the cold refrigerant absorbs the heat from the coil. Obviously the temperature inside the room decreases and cooling effect starts, and the same way the things are repeated. This is what the basic functioning of this block. Now refrigerant, basically it is a hydrofluorocarbons. It absorbs heat from room and travel it next component for further processing. So it absorbs refrigerant inside this coil and tube system. It absorbs heat, then it moves to compressor. In that it is compressed. Remember that here it is a cold refrigerant, it is cool refrigerant, because of the temperature of refrigerant is higher at this point, since it has absorbed the heat from the room. And after compressor, due to compression, pressure is high and cool refrigerant becomes hot refrigerant, and when hot refrigerant passes through condenser, the heat is given to the air outside, and as heat is given outside, its temperature decreases and turns into liquid. Again, due to expansion valve, when gas or refrigerant moves from higher pressure to lower pressure region, the cooling takes place and we get cold refrigerant. And remember that whenever this air comes in contact with this cooling coil, condensation of water takes place, and due to that we get the water from the coil and it is given to the outlet. It is sent out of the room. So this way the functioning of air conditioning is done. Now applications of air conditioning. See, according to engineering, air conditioning is divided into basically two types of application, that is a comfort application and process application. So when we talk about comfort application, the purpose of this application is to provide a building indoor environment that remains relatively constant in a range preferred by human beings. So for comfort of human beings, whatever the requirement conditions are there, they are produced using the air conditioning in comfort applications. That is what the thing is. So that can be done in various types of buildings. So similarly, considering the height of building, suppose a very tall building is there, then airflow is very fast and that air circulation inside the room is not comfortable. So in that cases also the air conditioning is important to condition the air inside the room. So they fall under different category, that is high rise residential building or high rise low rise residential building, commercial buildings, then institutional buildings and industrial space. They fall under this comfort application. Similarly, along with this, air conditioning can be used in motor cars also, or other land vehicles, trains, ships, aircrafts, spacecrafts, and so many other places. So now we talk about process application. So in case of process application, instead of a human comfort, the most important thing is that the important aim is to provide a suitable environment for processes being carried out, regardless of internal heat and humidity loads and external weather condition. So for some particular processes, a particular environment is required or conditioned air is required, so that can be achieved through this. See, here it is, for example, hospital operation theaters. So here we know that in a hospital there must be a clean room, clean air. So cleaning is most important. Second thing, that to reduce infection risk, the humidity also be controlled at a particular level. So that also can be done with the air conditioning. Although temperatures are often in the comfort range which we need, so generally temperatures maintained in this is 18 degrees Celsius. So this way, here in hospitals we can use, or in operation theaters also we can use the air conditioning. So there are several industries, just like pharmaceutical companies, or say integrated circuit designing industries and so on. There a conditioned air is important, and in that case also the air conditioning is used. Similarly, we know that in aircrafts air conditioning is very important because of outside conditions are not favorable for the human being as well as the things inside the airplane, and so it can be maintained with the help of this. So apart from this, what are the disadvantages of air conditioning? That is disadvantages. Here it is. Besides all these applications that it gives clean air, it maintains a comfortable temperature, humidity, it has some negative aspects or impact on environment as that of the greenhouse gases and the temperature effect that tap heat and lead to depletion of ozone layer. So these greenhouse gases that tap heat and lead to depletion of ozone layer, and the problem is that the hotter our environment gets, the more reliant we become of air conditioning system. So that is a disadvantage of AC. Similarly, AC can affect or worsen eye conditions like conjunctivitis and other diseases which may. So air conditioning or low temperature may create a problem for that. Even eye contact lenses wearers, there can be a problem. So continuous use of AC has negative effect on health like asthma, tightness in the chest and other respiratory ailments. So these are some disadvantages are also there. So this is what about the air conditioning. Now let us consider some problems related to the chapter heat transfer mechanism. See here it is. Carnot's engine, whose low temperature reservoir is at 10 degrees Celsius and has an efficiency of 50%, it is desired to increase its efficiency to 70%. Then, in order to increase this efficiency, by how many degrees should the temperature of the high temperature reservoir be increased? So we know that in case of Carnot heat engine, there it is source, there it is sink. Source is at higher temperature T1, sink is at lower temperature T2, and heat is being transferred to the system from source. This is source, this is sink, and some of the energy is converted into work and some of the heat is given to T2. So here Carnot's engine whose low temperature reservoir is at 10 degrees Celsius. So that means T2 is 10 degrees Celsius, has an efficiency 50%. So eta is 50%. It is desired to increase its efficiency to 70%. Now we want to increase this efficiency from 50 to 70%. So for that, how many degrees should the temperature of high temperature reservoir be increased? That means in order to get 70% efficiency, what should be the temperature of T1? So since given things are efficiency, eta is equal to 50%, that is 0.5. Temperature of the sink is T2 is 10 degrees Celsius, then it is converted into Kelvin. So it is 283 Kelvin. And we know the efficiency eta for heat engine, that is T1 minus T2 upon T1. So that gives 1 minus T2 upon T1. So we have the temperature T1 as it is shown here, it is 10 degrees Celsius means 283 Kelvin. Then temperature of hot reservoir that we have to find out, and eta is 0.5. So here it is, from this relation we have 0.5 is equal to 1 minus 283 upon T1. So T1 when efficiency is 0.5, the temperature is 566 Kelvin. It is a temperature T1 is of hot reservoir, remember that. Now we have to change the efficiency from 50 to 70, then what will be the change in T1? So here it is. Now instead of 0.5 we have efficiency 0.7 and we know T2 is equal to 283 Kelvin. So what will be T1? So eta is equal to 1 minus T2 upon T1, that is equal to 1 minus 283 upon T1. But here eta is 0.7, so 0.7 is equal to 1 minus 283 upon T1. So we get 0.3 is equal to 283 upon T1, and so that is why T1 is equal to 943.93. Now we know what was the earlier T1 for 0.5 efficiency, and now this is for 0.7 efficiency. So the difference will be temperature rise must be 943 minus 566. That means we have to rise the temperature of source, that is T1, by 377.33 Kelvin. Okay. So next problem, see. Carnot's engine working as a refrigerator. Now remember that it is not a heat engine, it is a refrigerator. Between 260K and 300K. It receives 520 calories of heat from the reservoir at the lower temperature. So remember that in case of refrigerator, this is source which is at higher temperature T1, this is sink which is at lower temperature T2, and in case of refrigerator, when work is done on the system, heat is extracted from the sink which is at lower temperature and it is given to higher temperature. Okay, so here it is Carnot's engine working as a refrigerator between 260K and 300K. So lower temperature is 260 and higher is 300K. Now it receives 520 calories of heat from the reservoir at lower temperature. That means heat transferred from T2 to T1, that is given, it is 520 calories from the reservoir at lower temperature. Now calculate heat rejected to the hot reservoir. So how much amount of heat is given to hot reservoir, and calculate the work done in each cycle. So here it is, we know temperature of source T1, here it is higher, that is given 300 Kelvin. Temperature of sink, it is 260 Kelvin, and heat taken from the sink, that is a Q2, that is 520 calorie. Now we know for Carnot engine, see T1 minus T2 upon T1 is exactly equal to Q1 minus Q2 upon Q1, or from this relation we can say Q1 upon Q2 is equal to T1 upon T2. Now in order to get the value of Q1, we get relation Q1 is equal to Q2 into T1 upon T2. So we know the value of T1, T2 as well as Q2 also. Just putting the values, Q1 is equal to 520 into 300 upon 260. So we get Q1 is equal to 600 calorie. Now we have to think about the work done. So see, work done, we know that the difference of this heat extracted and heat rejected is the work done. So that is work done W is equal to Q1 minus Q2 time, that is in terms of joule. So here we have Q1 and Q2, so 600 minus 520 joules. So see here it is 600 minus 520. Now here it is, so we get the heat in terms of calorie, the difference is 80 calorie. Now work done in terms of joule, that is equal to 336 joules, because of C 1 calorie is equal to 4.2 joules. So we are multiplying this by 4.2. So work done in terms of joule is 336. Thank you. Now next problem, a reversible engine converts 1/6 of heat into work. So remember that 1/6 part of heat is converted into work. when the temperature of the sink is decreased by 6 to 2 K, its efficiency is doubled. Okay, so reversible engine converts 1/6 of heat into work. Now when temperature of the sink is decreased by 62 K, its efficiency is doubled. That means instead of 1/6 it becomes 2/6. So find the temperature of source and sink. So here it is, efficiency of heat engine, that is efficiency eta, that we know it is equal to W upon Q1, and in terms of temperature difference it is 1 minus T2 upon T1. But here W upon Q1, remember that, converts 1/6 of heat into work. Okay, so obviously here W upon Q1 is 1/6, since 1/6 of the heat is converted to work. So here we have that eta 1/6 is equal to 1 minus T2 upon T1. So this is expression A. Now this is what the equation we got. Now efficiency is doubled when sink temperature T2 is reduced to T2 minus 62. Okay, so here it is, efficiency is now 2 times of 1/6, that is 2 upon 6 is equal to 1 minus, where temperature is reduced by or decreased by 62 degrees. So T2 minus 62 upon T1, then that is equal to 1 upon T2 upon T1 plus 62 upon T1. So therefore 2 upon 6 is equal to 1 upon 6 plus, here it is, we already saw 1 upon T2, 1 minus T2 upon T1 is equal to 1/6. So putting that value here, and 62 upon T1. So therefore we get T1 is equal to 372 Kelvin. Now we have got the value of T1. So if we put this value T1 in expression A, so we get 1 upon 6 is equal to 1 minus T2 upon T1. So that is equal to 1 minus T2 upon 372 K. So from this we get the value of T2, that is 310 K. So this way we can solve the problem. Okay, thank you very much. See you in next lecture. Bye.